Harrington. It's dumped by Benami. The leaders are winding up here. Daytona, the big one is out.
Good evening, race fans. Welcome back to another round of the Rubbins Racing Next Gen Series, sponsored by Butt Kicker. My name is Jake Fescannon, here bringing you flag-to-flag coverage of the action presented by Team Goon Squad. We are here at the virtual Phoenix Raceway, getting ready for a great race tonight. We've got our grid set. Drivers will be heading out to the track, getting the cars ready to go. We should have a great race tonight for you here. I'm going to bring up the starting grid, see how they are lining up to start the race. We've got the 2 of Dominic DeLeo starting, or excuse me, the 69 of Nick Leo starting on the pole. Outside of him is the 33 of Dominic, or 22 of Dominic DeLeo. Starting on the second row, the inside is the 5 of Jared Reed, and on the outside is the 53 of Stephen Gibson in fourth. Butch Taylor rolls off in 5th place in the 33, and the 42 of Aaron Sayer put it on the grid in 6th. Jake Vinosky in the 7th starting 7th tonight, and the 52 of David Reed's rolling off in 8th. We've got the 28 of Wayne Grennan rolling off 9th tonight, and Robert Mathis Jr. in the 29 is rolling off 10th. Carter Linz is in the 4 starting 11th tonight, and Leaf Smith's in the 65 starting in 12th. Bringing it back for the rest, we've got the 44 of Mark Cusano starting 13th, the 13 of Garrett Hall's rolling off 14th, and we've got the 55 of Charlie Gates Jr. rolling off 15th to round out our grid for the evening. We are going to get focused as they are rolling out for pace laps. We've got 100 laps tonight. Again, no one fast repair that gives these drivers one chance to get their car fully repaired, so should they have any problems tonight. Unlimited sets of tires, and should see at least one stop for fuel if this were to not have any cautions. Gonna be getting ready to roll. They are rolling down the backstretch, getting ready to head into turn 3. Gonna get ready to go as the drivers have it formed up 2 by 2. Nick Leo brings it into turn 3 in the 69 Joule Chevy, and he's getting ready to go, and we are off and rolling. Green flag in the air to start this round. You can see quickly here, a couple guys are diving down low. That was the 5 of Jared Reed. Drivers are able to utilize all of the paved racing surface to the inside of the yellow line on the front stretch, and you'll see many of them throughout the night driving it down hard. Nick Leo brings it into turn 3, though, with a fairly comfortable lead to start. He's got just under a half-second gap as they complete lap 1. Looks like we're clean so far, so great start for all of the drivers out there. Jared Reed looks like he's starting to push a little bit, try to close down the gap, and just as I say that, we've gotten an accident. Jake Vinosky looks like he had a problem. Let's bring up the wreckage replay and see what happened there. And it's going to look like Vinosky's there on the inside coming out of turn, or excuse me, that was coming out of turn 4. Starts coming down. He's riding that white line and looks like he just loses it. And oh, he gets launched to the air. That car goes flying up. Able to bring it down, though. Everybody else does a great job avoiding him. Looks like Carter Lind might have had a problem. But yeah, that was just an epic crash. Epic crash to bring out the first caution on lap 2. It's going to give the field a chance to group back up. I'm sure some of these drivers might have been a bit nervous off the start, so it's going to give them a chance to catch their breath as well. Not sure how many cautions we'll see tonight. This is definitely the possibility that there could be some collisions again coming out of the dogleg in the front stretch with the way everybody can fan out and take the low line. You can see Vinosky running right around the yellow line there, just on the edge of the banking to the apron. That point when they come back onto the track before they enter into turn one can definitely create some havoc if drivers are not careful to keep an eye out where the other drivers are, who's getting a run and who's going to be coming up around them. Can easily cause more collisions as well. Would not expect to see any pit stops at all. Let's take a look while we are under caution and see what happened with the 4 of Carter Lynn's. Looks like he was trying to avoid the 7 of Vinosky, cutting it back down. Yeah, he just gets loose a little bit as well. Tags the outside wall shortly after Vinosky losing it. So 2 cars collected up that, I would say involved, but not directly contact with each other. So could see 2 guys using their fast repairs very early on. I would expect Vinosky for sure to be using his. Crossing the line to get the 1 to go this time by, so the field's going to get gridded up 2 by 2. Update the standings for the top 5 as they get ready to restart. We're going to have the 69 of Nick Leo still leading the way. The 5 of Jared Reed up 1 spot from his starting position in second on the outside. Inside of row 2 is going to be the 22 of Dominic DeLeo and the 53 of Stephen Gibson. And Butch Taylor's going to round out the top 5 in the 33. Not a ton of change in the front 6 in terms of order from where they qualified. Just a couple movement. We got some movement in the back, and obviously Vinosky and Lynn's dropping back off that start. So as they pull down the backstretch approaching turn 3, going to be getting ready to get this race back under green. Nick Leo will have control of the field. We'll see when he just elects to restart. Looks like he's going to bring it right to about the middle of the Geico restart zone, and they are off and rolling. Oh, and just like that, Nick Leo loses it, loops it, just coming across the start-finish line in the dogleg, and that's going to bring out the second caution right away. We will definitely take a look at that one. That was an unexpected incident. Let's pull up the wreckage rewind. Just shortly after he crosses the start-finish line, problems for the 69 of Nick Leo. You can see he gets a great launch out of the restart zone, bringing himself to the start-finish line. He brings it below the apron, and just like that, just rear end kicks out on him, and it kicks to the right of him, noses it right into the wall, just coming out of the dog leg. Big trouble for him. Not sure if he's going to be using his fast repair right away, but certainly very unexpected out of the 69 Joule Chevy of Nick Leo. So we're going to focus back. That's going to put Jared Reed in the lead. He's going to be catching up to the pace car. I want to take a moment while we've got a break in the action to remind you, if you are looking for some clean, fun racing, every Tuesday night, the Rubbins Racing League, sponsored by Buck Kicker, part of the Rubbins Racing Online League. Next Gen Series, a great series to get into. It's all about having fun. Short time limit. These are about 1 hour races, 1x for the fast repair, and it is a lot of fun. I've had a blast calling these the past few weeks, getting to watch these guys. Don't mistake that just because it's all about having fun does not mean it's competitive. There are some great drivers all across the field, and these are some pretty stacked grids for sure. So certainly something to check out for if you're looking for some next-gen league racing. And again, we thank the sponsor of Butt Kicker for coming on and showing their support for this league. Great to have them on board. Working the pace laps again for the second caution. Take a couple more laps, it looks like, to get the cars lined up and get around. Looks like we've got 7 of Jake Vanoski on pit road at this time. He might be taking the opportunity to get some repairs if he did not use the fast repair on the first stop. So that wreck by Nick Leo, if he's not able to recover, could easily shuffle up the point standings coming out of tonight at the conclusion. Certainly, he's been a front runner for much of the season thus far, and I would say a very rare misstep by him for sure. Hopefully that car's not too damaged, he'll be able to resume. This can be scored just ahead of the field. And as the lights go out, we are going to be getting the field gridded up. That's going to bring Nick Leo back around to rejoin the back side of the field, so that's why you see him take off in front of the pace car the rest of the field. So again, get the top 5 lined up for you as we are going to be coming to green. We got the 5 of Jared Reed running in first. The 22 of Dominic DeLeo starting on the outside of him in second. The 53 of Steven Gibson is going to be on the inside in third. 42 of Aaron Sayer is on the outside of row 2 in fourth, and the 33 of Butch Taylor on the inside of row 3 to round out your top 5. Pace car is off. Field's going to be rolling down the back stretch, coming into the turn 3 to get ready to get restarted. Jared Reed's going to have control of the field. We'll see when he elects to go. Looks like he waits for the green flag to come out, and they are back racing. You can see that inside row all dives down to the inside of the track surface. Outside row seems to hug it right around the yellow line for the apron. Jared Reed gets a great start, pulls away from the field, and just like that, we've got problems again, bringing out our 3rd caution of the night. Looks like Robert Mathis was involved in that one. Give this a minute to sort out, and we will be taking a look at the wreckage rewind for that as well. Let's check out what happened there for the 29 of Robert Mathis in our wreckage rewind replay. Looks like as they get going, you can see him there on the outside. And that looks like the 33 of Butch Taylor gets loose, just slides right up into him. Not sure if Mathis really had anything to do about that one. So contact with the right rear of Butch Taylor to the left side door of the 29 of Robert Mathis puts him in the outside wall coming into turn 1 out of the dog leg. Lot of problems tonight. To start, that is our 3rd caution, and we are only on lap 12, so this could be a long night for a lot of the drivers. Could easily be shaking up some strategy as well for those that might have planned on some green flag runs. Got quite a few cars electing to come to pit road. A couple of them expected based on the damage. The 33 of Butch Taylor's on pit road, along with the 29 of Robert Mathis. Looks like the 69 Nick Leo's on. He might be electing to take some repairs out of this as well. So we'll get the field reset for you a lap or so as they get lined back up. Going to be getting the field lined up this time by as the lights are out on the pace car. Going to be restarting next time by, so we'll get the field gridded up, and I will get you the top 5 rundown again, as we've had a bit of a shake-up in the top 5. Looks like the 5 of Jared Reed again is going to be on the inside of row 1. Outside is going to be the 53 of Stephen Gibson. Dominic DeLeo in the 22 is going to be starting 3rd. Aaron Sayer in the 42 is going to be on the outside, restarting in 4th. And the 13 of Garrett Hall moves his way up to inside of row 3 and 5th. He's up 9 spots from his starting position, so great run by him. Field is lined up 2 by 2 as they run down the backstretch, approaching the entrance to turn 3. Wait for Jared Reed to get this going. See if he elects to start a little bit sooner. He waits for the green flag and he is out rolling. Again, you're going to see the inside line fan out to the bottom. We've got the outside line holding around that apron. See if they can get away cleaner this time, not have any issues. Looks like the field's content to sort themselves out. Front 5 or 6 or so running single file. Behind that, we've got a couple side-by-side battles. Looks like the last 2 or 3 rows are battling side by side. So we got the front 7 or 8 or so running single file. Just as I say that, as they go out of turn 4, fanning out again. Jared Reed will read this first lap back to green, followed closely by the 53 of Stephen Gibson. The gap is about 3/10 right now. You got about another half a second to 6/10 back to the 13 of Garrett Hall. He's made a couple spots up from the restart, doing a great job battling side by side with Dominic DeLeo. Let's pan back to that battle as we speak. See, 13's able to clear him as they cross the start-finish line. A lot of action back here. This is it's pretty tight racing right now. Guys are trying to get all they can get. You see the 28 of Wayne Grunin is trying to close up on the 42 of Aaron Sayer. We will move 1 position back to watch that battle. Tight line right there between the 42 of Aaron Sayer, the 28 of Wayne Grunin, and the 4 of Carter Lentz. Carter Lentz doing a great job rebounding after he had the spin in the first crash that brought up the first caution. So great recovery by him. You can see 42 of Aaron Sayer is able to pull away from those 2 a little bit, give himself a little bit of a gap. And 4 of Carter Lentz falling back. Looks like David Reed in the 52s trying to make a move up towards the front. We're going to keep it focused on Wayne Grunin just for a lap or so. Let's pan back to the front. We've got a little bit of a gap. Jared Reed's holding that gap constant. It's about 6/10, but we've got a great battle behind him. Looks like the 13 of Garrett Hall and the 53 of Stephen Gibson are engaged in a great side-by-side battle for second, and Dominic DeLeo on the 22 is trying to insert himself into this. This is allowing the group from 2nd through about 6th to try to close up on each other. Certainly going to be something that Jared Reed wants to see, allowing him to pull away, open up the gap, but this is providing some great racing back here as we are back under green. Looks like they've decided to sort themselves out single file for a little bit. But at any time, as you can see, they're all taking different lines through turn 3 and 4. They can get runs and try to get by each other, take advantage of whatever momentum they might have. The redesign of Phoenix from its old configuration, banking was increased. Start-finish line layout was basically flip-flop from how it was. It allows these drivers to find a couple different lines through both ends of the track and attack the corners a little bit more aggressively than they used to be able to. So definitely provides for some different racing and some different strategies that guys may try to take in terms of their driving lines. If they want to try to attack and pick up some spots, or if they want to lay back and save tires as well. Currently showing 14 out of the 15 cars on the lead lap still running. 29 of Mathis Jr. is the only one being scored off the lead lap at this time. Jared Reed's really been able to open up the gap for himself. He's got about a 1.7 second lead as we are on lap 23 of 100 scheduled for tonight. We're going to go pan back through the field as we've got a couple different spots that are pretty close. Let's look at the 28 of Wayne Grunin. You can see not too far behind him, we've got the 4 of Carter Linz as well. Those two are certainly keeping each other close. Looks like the 4 of Carter Linz is trying to make a run back up. This is probably your closest battle, but as I say, that looks like the 53 of Gibson and the 22 of Dominic DeLeo are engaging in some close quarters again. The 42 of Aaron Sayer not too far behind him. That is a battle for 3rd through 5th. Gonna bring up the scoring for this battle right now. You can see on your right-hand side, battle for 2nd, but we've got a really close battle for 3rd through 4th. And just as I say that, 53 of Stephen Gibson tags the outside wall out of turn 4. That kills his momentum a little bit, falls back. He's going to fall back behind the 42 of Aaron Sayer. That allows the 22 of Dominic DeLeo up into 3rd. He is quickly trying to close down on the 13 of Garrett Hall. You can see they're almost about equal distance, a little bit of a big gap between the 22 of DeLeo and the 42 of Aaron Sayer. A little bit more of a wall scrape there as well going in turn 3. Don't think that should hurt the car too much. May upset the car a little bit, kill the momentum, but certainly not too much of anything to worry about. Let's pan back up to that battle between Garrett Hall and Dominic DeLeo. Looks like it's opened up a little bit, but Dominic DeLeo certainly trying to put the pressure on Garrett Hall, trying to rebound his way back up towards the front. The 13 of Garrett Hall having a great run so far through the early stages of this race. He's up 12 positions from where he started the night in 14, so great job for him. You see Dominic DeLeo diving low on him. It's great battles between these drivers. Great run so far by the 13 of Garrett Hall. All drivers on the track now seem to be content to start running some laps, try to pick up positions where they can, but everybody seems to want to start clicking off some laps, get into a little bit of a run, start progressing their way through the stages of the race. 5 of Jared Reed is just clicking out quick laps. He is almost a 10th faster than any car on the track, and compared to the battle between the 22 of DeLeo and 13 of Hall, he's about 4/10ths faster. You can see DeLeo's able to clear Hall, so that puts Hall in the clutches of the 42 of Aaron Sayer. Aaron Sayer diving to the inside through turn 4, coming to the start-finish line. Garrett Hall electing to take that outside line. Great side-by-side action as they exit the dogleg, entering into turn 1. 53 is Stephen Gibson looking to recover from his scrape with the wall, see if he can insert himself back into this battle for 3rd and try to pick up a few more spots. This is also bringing the 52 of David Reed. You can see him just off the back end of that. He's running 6th right now, but certainly looking to pick up some spots. Looks like we have a caution. We will pull up the replay in just a minute. Looks like it might have been an issue between the 69 of Nick Leo and the 7 of Jake Vinoski. Let's pull up the wreckage rewind replay for you here. Looks like the 7 of Vinoski getting loose off of turn 2. Slamming into the outside wall down the backstretch and just collecting the 69 and getting him. Let's take a look and see what happened to the 7 to lead that, if there was any contact involved or if he had an issue on his own. Looks like that shot shows it just ahead after he was getting loose. I don't think there was any contact. Looked like the 69 was behind him, clear of him, so it looks like the 7 of Jake Vinoski might have had an issue just getting off of turn 2, trying to catch it on the backstretch, and unfortunately tagging the outside wall coming down into the 69 of Nick Leo. So problems for both of these two continue to compound as the race goes on, still in the early stages. Get you back to the live. Focus back on the 5 of Jared Reed. Looks like there's some pit stops occurring. Almost the entire field in this time. I think everybody can feel the tires starting to fall off a little bit. This might have also opened them into their pit window as well to allow them to run the rest of the tank on, or run the rest of the race on one tank. Again, this is our fourth caution of the night. We are just about a third of the way through the event tonight. Plenty of racing left to go. Field's going to be working their way back out of the dogleg. Get one to go this time by, getting gridded back up. Going to reset the front runners for you. See if we can get you a full field rundown as well. We've got the 5 of Jared Reed in first. Garrett Hall will be restarting on his outside in the 13 in second. Dominic DeLeo in third for the restart. The 42 of Aaron Sayer restarting fourth. 53 of Stephen Gibson restarting fifth. And Wayne Grunin in the 28 is rounding out the outside of row 3. Jared Reed's going to have control of the field, bringing him down the backstretch to enter into turn 3. We'll see if he elects to get a earlier start, or if he's going to wait for the green flag to be displayed by Barney the flagman tonight. It looks like he gets rolling. We are back under green. Field fans out again. You're going to see that as a commonplace off of these restarts. Can provide for some moments of action. Looks like we've got a great side-by-side battle between the 22 of Dominic DeLeo and the 53 of Stephen Gibson. 53 of Stephen Gibson has a little bit of a run out of turn 2 down the backstretch, but the outside line provides a great line of momentum for Dominic DeLeo as they go off into turn 3. Dominic DeLeo selecting that very high line. Gibson running about the low mid line down the front stretch through the dogleg. Still side by side as they come out of the dogleg, entering turn 1. 42 of Aaron Sayer lying in wait behind them, along with the 33 of Butch Taylor. This is allowing the 5 of Garrett Reed. And just as I say that, you see the 33 of Butch Taylor have some issues. And we've got a wreck. Actually, that was 53 of Stephen Gibson. That brings out a caution. Gonna have some problems back on the backstretch. We will get the replay for you just a minute, but this will bring out the 5th caution of the night, and the term cautions-free caution certainly is coming into play tonight. Let's take a look and see what happened on the Wreckage Rewind replay. It's like the 53, you saw him get loose off of turn 2, trying to save it, and just brings it right back up to the track, slams to the outside wall. That's going to collect a couple cars right there. Looks like the 52 of David Reed's collecting that, and then as the 69 of Nick Leo was checking up, he gets running from behind. You can also see the 65 of Lee Smith involved in that. Looks like the 55 of Charlie Gates Jr. might have also been involved in that. So looks like 4 or 5 cars all tangled up on the backstretch in this 5th caution. Certainly going to bring a shake up to the front of the field as well. And Nick Leo, I would say he is contender for hard luck of the race. He can just not seem to catch a break tonight. See if any elect to come onto pit road. I don't think you're going to see anybody on the lead lap in that was not involved in that accident. They were just on a last caution, lap 32. So I think everybody's going to assume that their tires are going to be feeling pretty good, given that we were only about a lap and a half into that previous green flag run. Looks like the 29 of Robert Mathis Jr. has parked it for the night. It's the only one scored out at this time. 55 of Charlie Gates Jr. is going to go down a lap as he is still on pit road and field is coming by. Let's see if the rest of the field, the 69 of, looks like the 69 of Nick Leo, the 52 of David Reed, were able to get out in front of the leaders. We're going to see if anybody else is going to go down lap or if they all are going to be back on the lead lap. I would say it's very impressive that for 5 cautions so far, we still have 13 out of your 15 starters on the lead lap. Certainly attests to how tight some of these fields can be here, despite all of the wreckage that we've had so far. Certainly seems like these setups might be a bit on edge, and I know from speaking to drivers, the next-gen car can be very difficult to save once it starts to get loose. It's pretty stable and pretty easy to drive aggressively up until you hit the edge of control, and once you've lost that edge of control, it's just very tough to bring it back in. So you'll see a lot of these wrecks that may start coming off of one corner as the drivers try to save them. Could often result in a crash in the middle of the straightaway or the next corner. Lights are out on the pace car. We are going to be getting gridded back up for our 5th restart. It'll be coming on lap 41. Got 5 of Jared Reed again restarting on pole. 13 of Garrett Hall running in 2nd. 22 of Dominic DeLeo in 3rd. The 42 of Aaron Sayer will be restarting 4th. The 33 of Butch Taylor will be restarting 5th. 28 of Wayne Grennan will be restarting 6th. Pace car is off. Field's going to be pacing down the back stretch. This is one of the tracks where the drivers will run a little bit longer, come into the green flag without the pace car than others because of where the entrance of pit road is coming out of turn 2 down the back stretch. Get ready for Jared Reed to get this race restarted. And the green flag is back out, and we are back underway racing here at the Phoenix Raceway. Jared Reed gets a great start. Dominic DeLeo looking to the inside of Garrett Hall. Let's pull up that battle. Side by side, we've got some side-by-side racing behind as well. Looks like they sort themselves out single file as they come off of turn 2 down the back stretch, but you'll easily see them fan back out again as they go into turn 3 and turn 4. You can see Wayne Grennan overshot the corner a little bit there. Turn 3 goes a little bit high. You see side by side again between Garrett Hall and Dominic DeLeo. Garrett Hall favoring that outside line through the front stretch. Dominic DeLeo moving his way back down to the bottom side. Jared Reed checking out from the field, got about a 4/10 lead over the 22 of Dominic DeLeo. Got some tight battles back. We're going to go pan back between the 42 of Aaron Sayer and the 4 of Carter Linz. You can see Carter Linz sticking to the high side, and we've got another caution back out. Looks like the 44 of Mark Cusano had an issue there. Let's pull up that replay. There we go. You can see the 44 of Cusano looking like he got involved with the 33 of Butch Taylor. Let's take a look at that from a different camera angle, see if we can get a better look at what happened there. Get this pulled back up for you. Side by side coming through the dogleg. Looks like the 33 of Butch Taylor just pushes right up into the 44 of Mark Cusano, and they both go for a spin as they're coming out of turn 4. Close action there with the 52 of David Reed almost getting into him, and the 69 of Nick Leo finally able to avoid a wreck. Let's get you back live. This, of course, is our 6th caution for the evening. We are not even to halfway yet. These cautions are definitely giving drivers a chance to save tires and save fuel. Might put a bit of a wrinkle into the strategy tonight for what some of these drivers might have expected coming into this. I'm sure the 5 of Jared Reed would love to see another long green flag run, try to check out from the field, build his gap back up. But this certainly brings excitement every time we get a restart. Field is going to continue to pace behind the pace car. So we'll take this chance to get you a full field rundown. Got the 5 of Jared Reed scored in the lead. The 22 of Dominic DeLeo up to second. Garrett Hall in the 13 is in third. The 42 of Aaron Sayer scored fourth at this time. Carter Lenz in the 4 is up in fifth. 65 of Lee Smith has found his way into sixth. Wayne Grennan in the 28 is running seventh. 52 of David Reed is scored in eighth. Butch Taylor in the 33 is back to ninth. 69 of Nick Leo is back in 10th. 53 is Stephen Gibson, scored in 11th. Charlie Gates Jr. running in 13th, and Jake Vinoski in the 7 is actually in 12th. We have the 44 Mark Cusano 1 lap down in 14th, and Robert Mathis Jr. in the 29 is our only driver out of the event. He is scored in 15th. Lights are out on the pace car this time by, I believe. Yes, they are, so the field will be getting gridded up, double file to get restarted next time by. We will see our 6th restart on lap 48. Let's see the pace car pull off momentarily as they come out of turn 2. Jared Reed will be leading the field down the back stretch as they work their way for this next restart. Certainly going to be looking to see where he elects to restart, if it's going to be within the restart zone or if he's going to wait for the green flag to come out. Looks like he might have had a bit of a blink there. We are good to go back under green. Again, you're going to see them fan out. We've got some good side-by-side racing behind him. Looks like he doesn't pull quite as far away this restart, but certainly there. Side-by-side between the 13 of Garrett Hall and Dominic DeLeo. Look back at that. You can see Garrett Hall is able to push the pass by DeLeo, but DeLeo is going to look to his inside as they approach the back stretch. Almost entering side by side. Garrett Hall going to take a little bit of a lower line out of turn 4 down the front stretch. Dominic DeLeo working back to the bottom. Enter single file into turn 1. This field looks to be running nose to tail through most of the field. I think they might be trying to click off some laps and make sure that they can try to get this this race done before they hit the time limit here. But as we get closer to that, there will certainly be some urgency of the drivers to try to complete this. And we have another caution. Looks like Nick Leo may have had a problem. It's going to bring out the 7th caution for tonight. Let's pull up your Wreckage Rewind replay, see what brought out this caution. You can see the 69 of Nick Leo just losing it as he came out of turn 4 to approach the front stretch. Car just seemed to start swapping ends on him, and he comes down and also gets the 55 of Charlie Gates Jr. So, bit of problems there. Excuse me, that I believe that was the 53 Stephen Gibson. So, rough night for Nick Leo as he spins to bring out caution number 7. And we are just halfway through this race, getting ready to complete lap 51 the next time by. I'm sure this is certainly not what these drivers had in mind tonight. I think you're going to continue to see the top 5 or top 6 or so stay out. Looks like Jared Reed ducking down, but I think you're all going to see them out as we really haven't run too many green flag laps as a whole since their last pit stop at lap 32. I think you're going to see the front runners elect to stay out and try to maintain their track position, and you may see some drivers in the back try to take a gamble, take advantage of the unlimited tire set, see if they can get some fresh rubber, see if that provides them a little extra feel good, try to work their way up through the field once we get restarted. Hard-pressed to give you a list of drivers that haven't been involved in an incident so far. I would that's a pretty elite list so far tonight, but you can see a couple drivers have made a great rebound. Carter Linz, after his involvement in the first caution, has found his way back up to 5th place, doing a great job rebounding. And with all these cautions, the lucky dog rule in effect, that has allowed the 44 of Mark Cusano to actually get his way back onto the lead lap. So we have all 14 cars running are scored on the lead lap at this time. Caution lights are out on the pace car. Field's going to be getting gridded up for the 7th restart. Get a quick rundown for you. The 5 Jared Reed is going to be restarting first. Outside of him in second is going to be the 22 of Dominic DeLeo. Garrett Hall is going to be restarting the inside of row 2 and the 13. Outside P4 is going to be the 42 of Aaron Sayer. Carter Linz restarting in 5th in the 4 car. Wayne Grunin in the 28 is going to be restarting on his outside in 6th. 53 of Steven Gibson is going to be on the inside of row 7. 65 of Leaf Smith on the outside of row 4 and 8th. 52 of David Reed in 9th, and the 33 of Butch Taylor will be restarting in 10th to round out your top 10. A little bit of blink there between Don and Leo. You saw him momentarily disappear and reappear. That happens when the internet connection has a quick lapse of communication with the iRacing server. Field's going to be getting ready to go green. Jared Reed starts them off. Likes to jump back for that inside. He pulls away. We've got a little bit of side-by-side racing back there. Dominic DeLeo sorts right ahead of the 13 of Garrett Hall. Got a little bit of gap between those two. Field comes single file back out of turn 2. Looks like we've got some blink back there. That may be the 52 of David Reed. To keep an eye on that to see if that poses any more issues. But you can see still a great battle up here at the front between the 22 of DeLeo and the 13 of Garrett Hall. These two have been trading positions for the last 20 to 30 laps or so, doing a great job. Looks like there might have been a little bit of contact with the outside wall out of turn 2 by the 42 of Aaron Sayer. Doesn't seem to affect him too much as he's trying to work his way to the back bumper of the 13 of Garrett Hall. Close battle between the 4 of Carter Linz and the 33 of Butch Taylor. Let's look back at that as they are entering turn 2. Just as I say that, we've got a problem for the 53 of Steven Gibson. He collects the 33 of Butch Taylor. No caution out yet. So those two are both able to stay out of the racing line, continue going. So we stay green after that slide between the 53 of Butch Taylor or 33 of Butch Taylor and 53 of Steven Gibson. It's going to allow Carter Lins a little bit of breathing room. He's got a big gap back to the 69 of Nick Leo. Field's starting to spread out a little bit. Check back up on your leader. Jared Reed just pacing the field, just under 3/4 of a second lead right now over the 22 of Dominic DeLeo. He's been the class of the field so far today since the 69 of Nick Leo had the issue early on. Doing a great job maintaining that. You can see the front three are breaking away from the rest of the field. About a second and a half, just under a second and a half, separates the 5 of Jared Reed, the 22 of Dominic DeLeo, and the 13 of Garrett Hall. And then there's about another second and a half back to the 22 of Wayne Grennan. Garrett Hall and the 13 still doing a great job keeping it in the top 3 in a podium position right now, up 11 spots from his start. Jared Reed also improving on his 3rd place starting position, holding that lead down for the majority of this race. Other big movers throughout the field, we got the 28 of Wayne Grennan up 5 spots from where he started, as well as the 4 of Carter Lins also up 5 spots. Biggest loser right now is the 53 of Steven Gibson, down 10 spots on pit road. Assessing the damage, getting some repairs right now. See, we've got a close battle. See the 42 of Aaron Sayer and Carter Lins trying to get close to each other. Closest battle right now appears to be the 69 of Nick Leo and the 65 of Lee Smith. That's for 7th. Field's really kind of getting spread out now as we start clicking off green flag laps. I think they are all anxious to try to get this race done if they can. Looks like they should have about 15 minutes or so to go on the hour clock. It's going to be really close if they can get all 100 laps in, even under green flag conditions. Current pace last time by for Jared Reed was a 28.342, so certainly going to be on the edge of getting all those in. We're going to look back at the front 5 of Jared Reed as he pulls away. Take a look at the battle between the 28 of Wayne Grennan and the 42 of Aaron Sayer. You can see Aaron Sayer trying to close his way. Last time by was about 1/4 of a second faster than the 28 of Wayne Grennan, so looking to move his way up through the top 5, see if he can take a shot to insert himself in a podium position. You're going to see a lot of drivers starting to kind of follow similar lines to each other now as they get spread out a little bit. You may see some slight deviations as they fit the setup and the track to their driving style, but I think you're not going to see the crazy fan outs and side by side right now as the field's kind of elected to spread out a little bit. Pretty tight racing up front, though, between the 5 of Jared Reed, 22 of Dominic DeLeo, and 13 of Garrett Hall. All separated by about a second and a half, but last time by was only about 1/10 of a second separating all 3 of them. With this fixed setup, it also allows for very tight racing, but can also make it tough for drivers to close in on one another or try to complete passes at times, as there's really not much to lean on in terms of a setup advantage over one driver or another. It's all based on how well you can adapt to that setup and your driving skills shining through. Gaps maintained pretty consistent last time between the 5 of Jared Reed and the 22 of Dominic DeLeo. You can hear it sounds like he's actually possibly almost hitting the rev limiter as he comes out of turn 4 to approach the start-finish line. That's what that little bit of blipping and kind of changing RPM you may be hearing there. But he seems to be the class of the field. posting great lines, keeping his car in control, taking advantage of some unexpected incidents through some of the other drivers, and certainly making a great run today. Crosses the line to start lap 69. Take a look back through the field at the 69 of Nick Leo and the 42 of Aaron Sayre. Nick Leo certainly trying to make the best of a recovery effort for him, try to salvage a decent points day. You can see that right side of that 69 Joule Chevy, and the back side of it is certainly banged up. Venture to say he used his fast repair certainly early on in this race and has tried to make the most of the cautions, come down, collect some repairs, get that car as close to working order as he can. And just as we say that, we have our 8th caution out for the evening. This may make it tough for these drivers to complete all 100 laps within the time requirement. This also may bring a interesting play in strategy. Let's take a look at the Wreckage Rewind replay and see what happened. You can see the 52 of David Reed had some issues. I think he might have had a problem before we catch that one, so certainly have to take a look and see if we can appear he did tow. See if we can rewind this for you and find out what happened. If he just slowed down and pulled down. I believe he just slowed down and pulled off where he was at in the grid that caused an issue. So just as I say that, looks like everybody up front has elected to come in. 7 of Jake Vinosky and the 55 of Charlie Gates elect not to pit, but you're seeing the majority of the field in. So this could cause a bit of an interesting restart with that strategy play that I mentioned. Some guys coming in to take some fresh rubber, some guys choosing to stay out, see if they can take advantage of track position, make that work to their benefit. Pan back up as the only 2 on track running at this time behind the pace car are the 7 of Jake Vinosky. You can see he's got no front end left. Not sure how much the aero for him is going to come into play. Looks like they 7 of Vinosky and the 55 of Charlie Gates Jr. are also going to elect to come to pit road. I think they may have seen the whole field coming down and realizing that might not have been the best strategy for them, so try to get back on cycle and not be at a disadvantage compared to those that had fresh tires. It's going to put the 5 of Jared Reed back to the lead. So again, we are working our 8th caution here tonight. Fortunately, bit of a tough one for the drivers to keep their cars in control tonight. Certainly can make for a long night for some of these guys. But when you have races like this as well, it certainly allows you, if you've had some problems as well early on in the event, it gives you the opportunity to try to work your way back up and salvage what you might thought of as a pretty good finish depending on how you had. Looks like the 52 of David Reed has parked it for the remainder of this event. Settle score 12 cars running on the track right now. The 53 of Steven Gibson still on pit road, trying to get repairs to get himself back out onto track. And all 12 cars that are running on the track at this time are on the lead lap, so still a very tight field overall. Get the running order reset for you as they are going to be approaching the start-finish line this time by. Lights are out on the pace car, so they're going to get gridded up for the A3 restart. It'll be coming at lap 75 of 100. We're going to have 26 to go when they get the green. We've got the 5 of Jared Reed pacing the field again on the inside row 1 in first. Outside of him is the 22 of Dominic DeLeo. Row behind them, we've got the 13 of Garrett Hall on the inside and the 42 of Aaron Sayre on the outside. Carter Lynn's on the inside of row 3, and Butch Taylor on the outside of him in 6th. Behind them, we've got the 65 of Leaf Smith and the 44 of Mark Cusano. Behind them, you've got the 69 of Nick Leo. Wayne Grennan fall into the back, so that'll bring up Charlie Gates Jr. on the inside of row 5. Be getting ready to get restarted here. Jared Reed's got control of the field, waiting for the green flag to come out. It has been displayed by Barney the Flagman, and they are off and rolling with 26 laps to go. Jared Reed pulling away again, side by side between Garrett Hall behind him. He's liking seeing that every time. We'll walk back to that battle. You've got a side-by-side battle between the 42 of Aaron Sayer and Carter Lins as well. Take a look at that one as they run down the front stretch. You can see the field approaching you this time into turn 3. Aaron Sayer goes for a big slide on the entrance to turn 3. That's going to send him way off the track, cost him a lot of positions. He's certainly falling back. We'll look at the 4 of Carter Lins. Everybody in the field able to avoid Aaron Sayer as he had that moment entering turn 3. Just shows you how on edge these cars are and how easy it can be to lose it. Drivers on cold tires as well can have a treacherous time off the start, as the tires really don't start to build up their grip until a couple laps in, as they have gotten friction with the track, bringing up the temperatures. That also brings up the pressures, brings the car balance to something that they might be a little more comfortable with. Take a look back to the front as Jared Reed's trying to pull away from the field. He's got about a 7/10 lead over the 13 of Garrett Hall. Garrett Hall's able to maintain his 1 position gain over Dominic DeLeo off the restart. Dominic DeLeo, though, only about a quarter second behind him, trying to keep that battle close. We'll pan back to that one. Lying in wait behind them, you've got the 4 of Butch Taylor's, or Carter, excuse me, the 4 of Carter Lins. Butch Taylor and the 69 of Nick Leo are engaged in a battle for 5th and 6th right now on track. This is probably your closest battle right now, so we'll keep it on these two. You can see Nick Leo trying to do the best to get to the inside of Butch Taylor as they go into turn 3. Butch Taylor holds that middle line. Nick Leo running on the inside of him, trying to get the run as they go through the dog leg. You can see he's able to clear Butch Taylor that time, so move Nick Leo in the 69 up to 5th. Butch Taylor in the 33 back to 3rd. Front of the field seems to have themselves sorted out. Jared Reed with a pretty big gap over Garrett Hall. It's about 1.1 seconds. And about equal spacing between Garrett Hall and Dominic DeLeo. Carter Lins back about 3/4 of a second from the 22 of Dominic DeLeo. We'll keep it here, see if Butch Taylor is able to mount a comeback to the 69 of Nick Leo. Aaron Sayer back there, you can see him in the back of your shot. He falls all the way back to 7th after his slide. Certainly going to hope for some fortunate race, see if he can work his way back up there. Let's get to some side-by-side action. We've got the 13 of Garrett Hall under the attack from the 22 of Dominic DeLeo. Seems like Dominic DeLeo takes a few laps to get up to pace and then really starts turning on the heat as those tires build up pressure and temperature for him. He's able to clear the 13 of Garrett Hall off of turn 2 as they run down the backstretch. It's allowing Jared Reed to pull away, but this is a great battle. These two have been running side by side all race long. Feels like you can see DeLeo favoring that inside line. That's something he's also done most of the race. Garrett Hall electing to stay above the yellow line through the dog leg and into turn 1. Single file. Looks like we've got that battle between the 22 of Dominic DeLeo, the 13 of Garrett Hall, and just behind them we've got a battle between the 4 of Carter Lins and Nick Leo in the 69. So Nick Leo is not willing to let this go yet. He is certainly trying to make his name and say, hey, I've still got a shot at the podium. I can drive back up here and compete with you guys. Looks like the 65 of Leaf Smith might have had an issue off the pace. Field stays green though as we've got 18 to go. 17 this time as Jared Lee clicks by the start-finish line. He's got about a 1.6 second lead over the 22 of Dominic DeLeo. Let's pan back to the battle between the 69 of Nick Leo and the 4 of Carter Lins. Nick Leo doing a good job trying to march his way back up, despite how mangled that car looks. Seems that aero might not be playing quite as much of a factor, although when you've got the aero on the back end, doesn't seem to be affecting the spoiler too much. So since that front end looks clean, he's definitely able to take advantage of the spoiler, keep the front end down. Certainly feeling good about his recovery effort. Sure, he's disappointed not being in the lead, but you got to feel proud given all the incidents he's been involved in, managing to salvage a pretty solid day out of it. He's trying to pull away from Carter Lins as they come off of turn 2, working their way down the back stretch, getting ready to enter into turn 3. Open that gap up to about 0.3 of a second. Last time by, we'll check the numbers this time by for the lap times. He shows to be about 1/10.5 quicker than the 4 of Carter Lins, and actually just slightly faster than the 3 of Garrett Hall, but I don't know if he's going to have enough time with 15 laps to go to try to get to the field, get to the back of Garrett Hall, get by him. Front 3 have separated themselves out a little bit. Jared Reed leading the way with about 1.5 second gap over the 22 Dominic DeLeo. Garrett Hall about 3/4 of a second back from DeLeo, and you can see we are on the 69 of Nick Leo right now, working in 4th, trying to close in on the 13 of Garrett Hall, but certainly running out of time to try to do it. See how much he's able to close down the gap this time by the line. It's like that time by about 1/4 of a second, so this gap is closed considerably. We're going to keep it on this battle right now, as this looks to be one of the best ones on the track, as Nick Leo is making a hard charge for the front, trying to work his way to the back of Garrett Hall, as we're going to be coming to 12 to go this time by. Race is coming to its closing stages, time limits coming down as well. Will that come into effect? I don't think these drivers are too worried about it. I think all those in the front are content to ride where they are. And Garrett Hall's hanging on for his life right now, hoping for either a caution or that time limit to hit, as he is getting a rear view mirror full of the 69 of Nick Leo. Nick Leo is stalking him big time. Last time by was 0.2 faster. We'll see what he is this time by, as he's closing up. He's only about 1.5 car length off of the back end of the 13 of Garrett Hall as they come out of turn 4 to cross the start-finish line, working their way through the dog leg. You see 69 of Nick Leo diving to the inside of Garrett Hall. They're going to go side by side into turn 1. He's going to clear him with no problem there. So move the 69 of Nick Leo up to second, or up to third, excuse me. Put the 13 of Garrett Hall back to 4th. Nick Leo's got about 1.5 seconds to try to close down on Dominic DeLeo, and last time by they ran identical lap times. So we'll see if he's able to turn up the wick at all. Last time by about 1/10 faster. Excuse me, almost identical. He was about half a tenth off of the 22 of Dominic DeLeo. So certainly seems like a tall task to accomplish with only 10 laps to go and 9 as Jared Reed will be crossing the line next time by. But certainly not out of the realm of possibilities given the way that we have seen cautions falling throughout this event. Could see the 13 of Garrett Hall falling into the clutches of the 4 of Carter Lins, possibly. It's panned back to Carter Lins, though, and Butch Taylor. It actually looks like your best gap rate, or best battle right now, is between the 33 of Butch Taylor and the 42 of Aaron Sayer for 6th place. About a 5 car length gap separation between the two of them as they approach turn 3. And out of turn 4 this time by. Going to be starting lap 94. You can see Aaron Sayer diving back to the inside. He's trying to make a recovery, pick up a spot or two after he had that slide previously. He's committed himself a little bit to the higher line there through 1 and 2 as they work down the backstretch, trying to get into the draft of the 33 of Butch Taylor, suck up as much as he can. You can see he's running in the clutches of the 33 of Butch Taylor, trying to do all he can to get back to him, see if he can pick up 1 spot, work his way back to 6 before the end of this event. Jared Reed with a monstrous gap, though, 2.2 seconds. got about another 1.3 seconds between the 22 of Dominic DeLeo and the 69 of Nick Leo. Garrett Hall's about 1.6 back from Nick Leo, and we've got a pretty close battle between the 13 of Garrett Hall and the 4 of Carter Linz. Let's pan to that as we've got 6 to go. They work their way off of turn 2 down the backstretch. You can see right in line as well. Garrett Hall in the 4 car trying to insert his nose to the inside of... Excuse me, that's Carter Linz in the 4, working his way to the inside of Garrett Hall. He's going to take the inside line down the dogleg coming into turn 1. They're going to go side by side. Carter Linz going to occupy that inside line. Garrett Hall going to be occupying that outside line. They are running side by side. Garrett Hall able to get just a little bit of a better run off of turn 2, so he's going to go take the lead in that battle down the backstretch as they enter turn 3. They'll be approaching the line that gives those drivers 4 to go. You can see Carter Linz in the 4 certainly not wanting to give up on that. Continuing to stalk the 13 of Garrett Hall. We've got side-by-side back as well between the 33 of Butch Taylor and the 42 of Aaron Zaire. So great racing here between 4th and 5th as well as 6th and 7th with only 3 laps to go. We are coming to the final laps of this event here at Phoenix from the Rubbins Racing Next Gen Series sponsored by Butt Kicker. Jared Reed just in control over a 3-second gap. You can see Nick Leo certainly closing down the gap. Only about a 0.4 of a second gap as they are going to be approaching 2 laps to go. We're going to take a look at that. Don't think the 22 of Dominic DeLeo expected to see Nick Leo in the 69 approaching him quite this quickly. I'm sure with 10 to go he felt pretty comfortable with that gap, but Nick Leo has been putting on a clinic, turning lap times that are actually faster than the 5 of Jared Reed. So he is certainly making the most of his tires from that last pit stop, trying to do all that he can. You can see him starting to try to look to the inside of Dominic DeLeo as they enter into turn 3. They're going to run nose to tail through the exit of turn 4 down the front stretch across the start-finish line to get the white flag. Dominic DeLeo dives to the bottom, tries to protect that inside. Nick Leo trying to look for him, trying to find some sort of way from him. Looks like he's going to try to cut down, see if he can get to the inside of him off of turn 2 down the backstretch. Gets a great run, but unfortunately pushes up a little bit, not able to do anything with it. Jared Reed crosses the start-finish line to collect your lead. We're going to watch this battle as they come through turn 3 and turn 4. Nose to tail. Nick Leo's going to try to get the run on the outside, but it's not going to be quite enough. He's going to bring it home in 3rd. Dominic DeLeo securing 2nd. Carter Linz. Garrett Hall is going to bring it home in 4th, and Carter Linz is going to round out your top 5. Give the field a moment to get themselves sorted out. Give these drivers a moment to get it sorted out. While Jared Reed completes his celebration, we are going to bring in the 69 of Nick Leo. And we have with us the 69 of Nick Leo. Nick, tell us about your race. Seemed like it was a pretty eventful one out there for you. How'd you feel about the run today?
Yeah, it was pretty rough. I don't think there's a single panel on this car that's not destroyed, maybe other than the roof. But yeah, it was a rough night.
Well, you certainly had what I would say is probably one of the best rebounds out of anybody I saw throughout the night. You definitely had quite a few incidents early on, but you did a great job mounting a charge. You were giving it your all at the end. How'd you feel about the car given that damage that you had there on the last 30 laps or so?
I was hoping for maybe one more restart. Maybe I was thinking about probably staying out and maybe just trying to block, but I was surprised I could close up the Dom, but it looked like he was having tire wear issues or something. Pretty intense finish though between me and him.
Yes, that was certainly a great battle. Do you think the number of cautions tonight was caused by the next-gen car being a little bit difficult to recover from spins once it starts to get loose, or did you feel like the setup was pretty on edge tonight and may have caused some of those issues for the drivers out there?
I think it's just more once it steps out, it's almost seems like it's luck whether you save it or not. But I almost feel like I started all those cautions though on that one restart. I lost it on the apron. That was I felt like that really started the caution fest, but felt real bad about that. I'm sorry to everybody again about that.
Well, I would not say you're the only one in that regards. Do you want to say thank you to anybody or say give a shout out to anybody before we let you go for the night?
Yeah, just the usual butt kicker for sponsoring this, and everybody that at the Rubbins Racing crew and the broadcast crew, and Jewel, of course. I had a lot of time to hit that tonight with all the cautions.
Well, great run tonight. Great job salvaging a podium finish. Looking for more for you to come the rest of the season, and good job on the run tonight.
Yep, thank you. See you next week.
We are going to bring in the 22 of Dominic DeLeo into the booth. Dominic, looked like a bit of an interesting race out there. Certainly a little bit more of a interesting finish than what you expected from the 69 of Nick Leo there at the end.
I told Nick after the race, like, there's no way I was letting him get second. He would have had to turn me. So I basically parked it in the middle of the corner and just begged him to go high. Thankfully, he didn't move me out the way, but came out of nowhere. I mean, I was sticking with Jared as far as the relative times for a little bit, but I had nothing for him. And once the tires started going away, I saw Nick in the back. I'm like, where did he come from? So happy to get a second, but really, there's nothing really I could have done there. Jared was class the field tonight. I said I had nothing for him.
Yeah, it seemed like throughout the race, you were always committed to that bottom line through the corners. Did you feel like that was a little bit more conducive for you for your driving style and the way the setup was playing tonight, or did you feel like the bottom had a good position on the other drivers throughout the laps?
It was more of a tire saving thing. Usually, and I haven't done a lot of testing at Phoenix, so I really don't know what the tires wear as far as the different lanes. Feels like maybe, I don't even know the turn numbers, but the last turn before the green, the start-finish line, that looks like maybe a corner you want to be a little bit higher on than I was taking it, but usually that was just kind of a tire saving thing. Obviously, it didn't work out, but yeah, normally I like to just hug that bottom line, but yeah, that last corner, I had the brakes all the way in the back, could not get the car to slow down as quick as I wanted it to. Just a rough night, but happy for a second place after all that.
Yeah, certainly a great effort. With all the quick cautions we had that first third of the race, did you feel like track position was important? You had to kind of dig all you could on the restart to keep yourself where you were? Did you think that long was going to come and you were going to kind of set yourself up there to save some tires?
I mean, the restart was tough. Starting third, I think, actually was probably better than starting second. Had a couple battles with Garrett Hall there. And he, if I didn't time it perfect with Jared, because he was starting, I think, first pretty much every restart there, except the one Nick got turned on or turned himself on. It was hard to stick with him. So unless, a lot of times I was starting second, found myself in third, having a battle past Garrett. By that time, Jared was already a second and a half ahead. So, it's difficult with some guys taking the bottom, some guys taking the top, all the way down there at the apron. So you got to kind of figure out the racing styles. I think that's probably why you saw a lot of early cautions. But got a good couple green flag runs in there. It was fun.
Well, it certainly looked like you made a very good effort out of the car and made what looked like a tough drive look pretty easy for the most part. Anybody you want to say thank you to or give a shout out to before we let you go for the night?
Yeah, I want to thank my wife as always. Eat, Sleep, Race, Physiquis Motorsports. You guys up in the booth with Team Goon Squad. I'd like to thank everybody at Rubbins Racing, Butt Kicker, the main sponsor, Better Hammer on Twitch, and Linen Steel Company. And yeah, looking forward to weeks coming ahead, but this was a fun one at a difficult track.
Congrats on a great run tonight. Looking forward to seeing you near the front the rest of this season as well.
Thank you, Jacob. Have a good night.
Thanks. And we are down to our race winner. Gonna bring Jared Reed, the driver of the 5 car, into the booth. Your race winner tonight for the round at Phoenix. Jared Reed, your race winner tonight. How was that drive out there today?
It was good once we got through all the cautions.
Do you feel like all those cautions were giving you any advantage over the field, or do you felt like that made it a little bit tougher on you every time it bunched up the field for a restart?
A little bit of both. Once I got a little bit of a lead built up, I hated to see the caution every time. But then at the same time, I know that Nick was pretty quick there at like the last run. He was gaining time, so I don't know, maybe the cautions helped me out there.
It seemed like both times when you chose to come to pit road, you kind of were able to get the rest of the field to come down and follow you. Was that a strategy that you had pre-planned, or did you kind of come up with that on the fly in the middle of the race to see if you could dictate what everybody else was going to do?
It was just kind of how the cautions fell. The first one, it was enough laps in that we can make it on fuel if we stop there. So I stopped then, and the tires really hadn't dropped off that much. And so the last stop, I was kind of debating on whether or not I should come in, but I knew that if I didn't come in, I was going to get burned by everybody else.
Yeah, well, it certainly seemed like the car was a bit sketchy tonight, a little bit difficult to control once guys got loose. Did you feel like that was due to the setup that was in play you guys were using tonight, or did you feel like that's just kind of how the next gen race is here at Phoenix?
I feel like it's kind of just this car. It's like whenever it's running good, it feels really in the track and kind of got a good handle on it. But it's the minute you step over the edge, it's hard to save and just kind of twitchy.
Well, you definitely made it look easy. You were by far the class of the field, just laying everybody down. So congrats on a great run. Anybody you want to thank tonight or send a shout out to?
Yeah, we want to thank Butt Kicker for being the main sponsor for this series, and then of course everybody that joined tonight and every week, making this series pretty good. And then we also want to thank a Better Hammer on Twitch.
Well, certainly great run tonight. Glad to see you up here in victory lane, and looking forward to more success out of you the rest of the season. Congrats on a great run tonight.
All right, thanks, Jacob.
All right, with that, we are going to bring up our finishing results for the night. Again, Jared Reed in the 5, your race winner. Dominic DeLeo in the 22, bringing it home in second. Nick Leo in the 69, bringing it home third. Stephen Gibson in the 53, able to rebound, finishing Garrett Hall scored in fourth. Gibson in the 53, bringing it home in fifth. And rounding out the rest of the field, you can see there on the screen. Thank you for tuning in. We were able to get some great racing in. Hopefully you enjoyed that, and we look forward to seeing you here back at the same time, same place next week for the next round of the Rubbins Racing Next Gen Series. Again, I'm Jake Fescannon here for Team Goon Squad. Thank you for tuning in, and we wish you all a good night.